This is the best qualified lead gen strategy that I've come across. I'm going to explain exactly how I 10x my solar business with no fluff or BS. After personally owning the solar company for 8 years in Australia, I'm really familiar with the headaches of trying to get solar leads and really grow your business. You know, the competition's high, the amount of digital marketers calling me for to run Facebook ads and Google ads. You know, it was crazy. You know, I tried companies like Solar Quotes, 3 Solar Quotes, even cold calling, door knocking, corflute signs outside people's houses. You know, I tried all these different strategies, but it wasn't really until I got, super focused on the one strategy that my business really, really made a difference and it really grew. You know, so what was that strategy? So what I did was I started on SMS Marketing, because I actually had about 1,000 people, 1,200 people who had already installed over the first 6 years. But I never realized how powerful SMS marketing was. And, you know, I had these leads just sitting there and I was trying to do email marketing, but SMS was so much more powerful. So what I'd do is I'd actually offer them a $200 Myers voucher, a friend or family who actually wanted a solar power system, and any of those people who actually signed up. And then what I then do is I create one landing page, very, very simple, where people would actually go to fill out their details. You know, when new leads came in, what would happen is the actual salespeople would get an SMS sent to their phone, would jump in the CRM and then contact them. But, you know, the close rate was actually 70 to 80%, because trust is one of the biggest factors, as you're probably well aware, and the barrier between someone actually, wanting a solar quote and actually buying a solar system from a solar power retailer. What I did was I actually had 2 pipelines. I had a sales pipeline and an install pipeline. And the good thing about the install pipeline was I was doing, everything myself. And it wasn't until I realized that it's very difficult unless you have a really simple drag and drop install pipeline, but it was hard to teach someone else to do it. And I could never trust anyone to actually take over that job and make sure everything was getting done properly. So I was always stressed about that. So what I did is I created those 2 pipelines. And what this also allowed me to do is it also allowed me to see the conversion ratios of the leads, how many were qualified, basically everything I needed to know, and then also where the leads were coming from. So everything I need to know all in one place, not even thinking about growing my business. It just made life so less stressful because I had one screen to look at and I could see every single thing on the sales pipeline. I'd click a button and I could see everything on the install pipeline, exactly who got what emails, everything. It was, I just wish I knew about this back in 2010 when I started my solar business. I really knew at the end of the day there was 3 things I needed to do to scale my solar company, or at least to get more jobs across the line. The first thing was a really, really good lead gen strategy. The second thing was a really good management system. So, my staff could use that. And the third thing was a nurturing campaign. So if someone wasn't quite ready, we'd go into an email on SMS marketing. And then I suppose anything else would have been, actually just generating content. But I could actually outsource that and contractor could do that work for me. So once I had those 4 key things in place, it's such a big difference and it was a lot less stressful. I actually also noticed that the SMS marketing was like 600 to 700% more powerful than email marketing, and that just made such a big difference. The opening rate of an actual SMS was only within 3 minutes. But it's also 90%, whereas emails can take a long time to open. And I think it's only around about 10 to 20% even get opened. You got junk mail where you have them with SMS. So it was such a powerful system. And it's something that if you actually own a solar power business or even any service-based business and you're not using a system that, you could teach to a 10-year-old and they could actually do a drag and drop system, it's too complicated. It has to be really, really simple. It has to be drag and drops, but it has to be, something that someone can pick up, and all the SMS and emails are going out to the right people at the right times throughout each stage of the sales process and the install process. So if it's something you want to discuss, just click the button, whether that button's going to be, wherever you're watching this. If it's on YouTube, I'll put a link in the description. If it's on my website, I'll put a button on there. And we can jump on a quick call, put your name and your number in. I'll get an SMS through on my phone, which comes straight through to me, and I'll jump on a quick call with you. We'll look at your online presence, what you're doing in your solar power company at the moment. Or even if it's not a solar company, if it's another service type business, we can look at that. Essentially this could be the most valuable, 30 minutes that you've spent all year on your business. And I've spoke to so many solar businesses, I'm talking about probably over 1,000 now. And the ones who scale are the ones who get one or two very, very powerful lead gen strategies and have a good system to back that up, so they can actually grow that business, as opposed to so many I speak to who go around doing the installs, think no one else can replace them, and they're just stressed all the time. They're working 12 to 15, even 16, 17 hours a day, maybe not 17, 16, probably about the limit. They just need to stop working in their business, which I know is very difficult at the start, but if you spend an hour or 2 hours a day really focusing on systems or working on their business, which other people can actually use and other people can actually manage for you, is where you start seeing some really big changes, where your business can grow and you can work less but double, triple, quadruple the amount of money that you're making now. So anyway, click the button or click the link, or we'll jump on a quick call and we'll go from there. Thanks.